Hey guys, Mike the Viking here, back for yet another video. This time around we're continuing the Rust update series. This week was pretty solid. I waited once again on making a new update video. I just, again, feel like there wasn't too much interesting in the last couple updates, so I'd wait until there was a big update. So the first, and probably the biggest thing they've added in this update, and although it's not that expansive at the moment, it should be really cool in maybe a couple weeks or even a month or so. It's the Steam Inventory Blueprint System. That was a really long name, I think that's what it's called. Basically, if you're familiar with Counter-Strike or TF2, you can get items randomly in the game. These are entirely cosmetic, and you can sell these items on the market. Now, as some examples, Gary added in some really basic ones. So there's the variations on the urban jacket. There's a green t-shirt change to this Gary's mod shirt. There's blue jeans that I'm wearing now instead of the regular ones. I assume that these are just demonstrations of what's possible in this whole custom item thing. Although it's not public yet, people will be able to design new variations of armor and then possibly get them added to the game. Now, as I said before, these are entirely cosmetic. So again, I'll relate to Counter-Strike where if you get an AK skin, it's still an AK, it just looks different. So as an example, let's say you have the green t-shirt blueprint. If you buy the Sandbox game shirt, the green t-shirt blueprint will now be replaced by the Sandbox game shirt. It costs the same amount of stuff to get, and you still need to get the blueprint in-game, I believe. I might be wrong on this, but I mean, I guess we'll have to find out. I don't really know. So if you're interested in how you actually get the items, from what I've heard, you can unlock them just by playing the game, like randomly, sort of like the Team Fortress 2 system. Had a few people telling me that they got the item in the barrel, and like in a barrel, if I can show you one, like this one, they got it in the barrel. Oh, damn it. And then it somehow appeared in their Steam inventory afterwards, and they were able to sell it on the market. So this is cool. I like this whole system. I'm really curious to see what artists create for the game. I'm sure we'll have all sorts of interesting clothing options, and of course this just makes the game feel just that little bit more polished, because, you know, you have different variations. You can change your armor for your clan or whatever. It'll be cool. I still miss that there aren't a whole lot of options for things like gloves and boots and even hats and stuff. I see that they've been focusing mostly on t-shirts and pants, and I think that some glove love would be nice. The item pickup system got changed. Basically, in the past, when you... This will mostly affect, like, spear combat, but there's some other things. But basically, when you threw a spear before and you went to go pick it up, it would go back into the top left of your inventory, then you'd have to drag it down here, then you'd have to go back in game and then throw it again. Basically, it's a lot more seamless now, so that once you throw it, it'll go back to wherever the item was in your inventory last. So, if you're familiar with the arc system, it's the same thing. They also changed movement a little bit, or actually a lot. This will just make traversing the land a little bit easier. I would say jumping feels a little bit heavier and slower and sluggish, but apparently that's a good thing. But so traversing up mountains, it feels a little bit better, and it's just an improvement overall. But I think they could still make this a little bit better, but it's smoother than before. Although honestly, I don't notice like night and day in terms of change, but I just can tell that they made it a little bit better. So climbing up hills, you're not like walking up and stuff like that. They added 2 new types of armor, as well as completed the road sign armor set. As you can see, this is the wood armor here, and here is the stone armor there. These can be worn on top of things like t-shirts and pants, of course. I did some quick tests, and it appears that the bone jacket and armor are more effective against bullets. So if you're going against somebody with a gun, you want to wear the bone armor. Whereas I found that the wood armor appears to be more effective against melee combat, which is the complete opposite of what they said it was good at. I don't know, maybe they'll change that. You know, it's early access, it could change like tomorrow. But this is what I've found in my testing so far. Obviously, having this armor is nice. It's a default blueprint, and it's certainly a lot better than no armor. It's really nice to see that they're adding some more uses for bone fragments, because like about a month ago there was like one use for the bone fragments, and now there's quite a few. Last week or the week before, they added the bone club, which hopefully I can show you here. See here, this thing's actually a great tool to have, and again, it's a default blueprint. Better than a rock, and it's quite cheap to get. And yeah, they also added the road sign kilt just to complete that set. I did some tests again with this, and basically it's as effective as the metal chest plate against melee, but it's not as effective against bullet damage. Maybe I'll make an in-depth video on armor and stuff like that. Let me know if you want something like that, because it certainly does help to know the details on things like this. They changed the freelook system, if you weren't familiar with it in the past. Basically, if you pressed or held down Alt, you could look behind you and it would automatically look over your right shoulder. And this was great. It made it so that when you're gathering ore or whatever, you could just look behind your back real quick to confirm that nobody saw you. They've changed this now to be a little bit more free. It's just a free look right now instead of only to the right. So basically, you can look to the right, look to the left, look over your left shoulder, right shoulder up, not very down because of they don't want to show how bad their animations are, but basically it's cool. It'll change gameplay a little bit, for sure, as you can now be aware of your surroundings and hopefully not get, like, assaulted secretly. Now, this may not affect a lot of you, but they made some changes to the F1 menu. This is basically where admins can spawn in and abuse the system. So now, when you're in middle of combat, you could just quickly see, oh, let's spawn in a couple AKs, some med kits, and it's just you ready to go. That's about it for this week, really. It may not sound like much, but I think these were some pretty monumental changes. Last week they added a sword and a machete and a bone club a week before, and a new helmet, and you know, that's nice. It's just good to see that they're adding more items to the game, and I hope they keep going with this. Like, I want them to add more guns. I think there's a crossbow in the works. There's been talk of this secret update thing on the way. I'm like 95% certain on what it is. I'm fairly certain that it's a new event. So if you're not sure what that is, basically like there's airdrops in the game. So I believe that there's a new event. I don't know what it is exactly, but pretty sure that's what it is. I have no idea what it'll be. Let's hope it's like a meteor crash, or maybe it's like a spaceship crash or something. Maybe a helicopter crashes, maybe, you know, they can copy DayZ a little bit. I have no idea. I feel like it's something's gonna crash. That's like my guess. So you can start placing your bets on what it'll be. I mean, of course, I could be totally wrong, but again, I'm pretty sure on this one. They also added the female model, which I can't show you quite yet because I'm not sure what's gonna happen there on the YouTube side of things, but time will tell. You'll see that next week or the week after, whenever I do the next update video. But that's gonna be the end of this one. Maybe may not seem like all that big of an update, but I do believe it was pretty noticeable. The Steam inventory system thing will be really cool to see what artists create in the coming weeks. The item pickup was cool. Just a lot of gameplay improvements, really, that should make the game easier for everybody and more enjoyable. So, this was recorded on my Rust server. For those of you that don't know, I do have a Rust server. I do play on it a fair amount, although in the past couple weeks, because of work, I really don't have much time to play games, and to be honest. Like, because I've kind of created a schedule for myself, including like going to the gym and stuff like that. It's good, probably good for me in the long run. But yeah, really, I only have like maybe a 3-hour window to play games and go on the computer. So it's been a little bit harder to make videos, and to be honest. Anyways, that is going to be the end of this update video. Let me know if you want these videos to be weekly. I don't know how much spare time I'll have because, honestly, I'm just gotten a little bit busy. But if you want these weekly, I can certainly try to make them weekly. Anyways, that's going to be the end of this one. If you enjoyed, do all the usual things, including leaving a rating and potentially commenting on the video. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.